I'm Sebastian St. James. There's something that you do not know about Australian dividend stocks, in fact, dividend stocks in general, and that's how to pick stocks that are going to be almost guaranteed to increase dividends year after year after year consistently. How do you choose them? I will explain exactly how in this video. In a previous video, we dealt with dividend yield, a most important concept. So yes to higher return with dividend yield, no to repeatability. It may not happen next year. In fact, there's absolutely no guarantee it will. In another video, we discovered dividend stability, which is wonderful. Yes, dividends are stable, but they could be very low. They could be not growing, and that's a problem. There's one secret ingredient I have been keeping from you all this time, it's true, and that is dividend growth rates. The dividend growth rate is how much the dividend is increasing over time, literally its growth. Here is a stock, a mystery stock, fear not, we will come to it soon. On the left-hand side, there is the years. We see the dividends paid and the total dividends for the year on the right-hand side. At the bottom, in 2006, we have 1.5 cents growing to 4.5. Oh, big jump in the next year. Up to 21.5, up to 38.3, right up to 214.9. 214.9. Wow, that is amazing dividend growth. And that's exactly what this video is about, understanding how to pick stocks to do exactly this. As you can see, dividend growth rate measures the momentum of the growth of the dividend over time. How much time? I shall reveal that to you. A dividend that is stable is good, that's dividend stability. But a dividend that's stable and growing quickly over time is so much better. In a future video, we will combine these three terms: dividend yield, dividend stability, and now dividend growth. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Dividend growth can literally be measured over any period of time that you want, but typically it's 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years. Here are live share results that I've generated just before doing this video, so they're real time. This is a list of the stocks which have had the most dividend growth over 1 year, 12 months. We see CIVMEC has had a growth of 19,900. Seriously? 19,900 in 1 year. That's how much its dividends has gone up by. COG Financial Services has gone up by 3,980%. Whoa! Iluka Resources Limited, 1,100% in 1 year. Ambertech Limited, which comes from Infotech, 933%, if you like, in dividend growth. But that's 1 year. Let's now move to 5. Fortescue Metals, which is Australia's largest iron ore producer, has a dividend growth of 77% over 5 years. Whoa! A, that is massive, and B, that is consistent. Iluka Resources, which we've already seen on the 1 year list, has 72.3%. BHP, another miner, has grown by 58.2% over a 5 year period. And finally, Mineral Resources has gone up by 56.3%. Now that's impressive. What's even more impressive is if we look at the 10-year list. This is a dividend growth from 10 years ago till today. At top position number 1 is the Magellan Financial Group, which over 10 years has grown its dividend by 53.4%. 53.4%? It's interesting to do it over 1 year. Maybe you had a dividend that was worth virtually nothing, and then you increased it massively. Well, that would account for 12 months. Over 5 years is really impressive, but over 10 years, 53.4%, well, it's legendary. We have Fortescue Metals, another miner. Australians love their miners, which has grown by 52.5%. Australian Ethical Investment Limited, obviously in financials, is 33.4% over 10 years. And finally, Globe International Limited, a consumer discretionary, has grown by 32.8%, if you please. All of those are impressive, but let's zoom in on number 1, the Magellan Fund. Who are they? The Magellan Financial Group is a fund manager business based in Sydney. They offer international investment funds to high net worth individuals and retail funds. Okay, and here are their growth rates. Over 10 years, their sales have gone up by 38%, cash flow by 43.8%, wow, earnings 43.2%, and dividends 53.4%. Now, is that 53.4% over the 10-year period, or is it 53.4% each year, year after year after year? This we will find out. For this, you will require grade 6 math. This is how it works. You take the period which you want to calculate your dividend growth over, say 10 years. I'm with you. And you take how much your dividend was paying 10 years ago, how much it's paying recently, and from there you work out the CAGR, the compound annual growth rate. The astute amongst you will realize we've actually covered compound annual growth rate in a previous video, so we know a bit about how that works. So when I say 53.4% over 10 years, I mean 53.4% on average year after year after year, not just from the beginning to the end. We're talking about every single year. Whoa, that's a massive thing to know. For the Magellan Financial Group, here are the dividend payouts. On the right-hand side, we have full year. As you know, 2022 is not yet over at the recording of this video, so we can take the previous year, which has a dividend payout of 211.2. 211.2 what? Cents per share. 10 years ago from 2021, of course, is 2011, and the full year dividend payout was 1.5 cents per share. Okay. So we start with 1.5 and over a 10-year period. This is a CAGR calculator, compound annual growth rate. Let's go. It is 64% growth rate. Whoa, that's each year, remember, not from beginning to end. If we look at the actual growth rate over 10 years, which is actually listed on the stock, we find it is 53.4%. Oh, and yet we calculated what? Oh, 64%. Something's gone wrong with our math. Well, this is slightly embarrassing. After all, I am a financial genius. How did I get this wrong? Fear not. It's because the year is not over. This is true. So what we do, instead of taking the last financial year, we take the last 6 months. I'll show you. So the most recent dividend was in 2022 for the first half, which is $110.01. And you go to the previous 6 months, not the whole full year, which is 114.1. So you still get a full year. It's different from the financial year, but you take the last 2 dividends because these are half yearly. We go exactly 10 years down below that, which starts off with the final dividend of 2011 and the first one of 2012, which is 1.5 plus 1.5 equals, quickly ask your 3-year-old, it is 3. So here's the math for that. The 2021-22 is 224.5. So there are 2 new figures. Pop them in your CAGR calculator and you get 53.96%. Yay! An excellent figure, down from 64 and a lot more accurate. Or is it? 53.96 I got. If you have a look at the original table I showed you, it was 53.4%. Okay, we have a problem again. We're very close, almost exact. Let's see how close we are. 53.96, which kind of rounds up to 54, and 53.4. All right, really, really close, but you know, we've got to be exact. So where is the problem with our math, I ask you? Fear not, there is an answer. What they do is the company decides how much in dollars it's going to pay out for that year. It divides it by the number of shares. If you have a weird number of shares, like 1,253,221, then automatically when you divide your dollar amount by that number of shares, you're going to get something with many, many decimal places, right? It will not be a certain number of cents per share, like 53 cents per share. In reality, it will be something like 52.96954, an exact long decimal place. But when it's reported historically, they'll round it up to the closest cent. And so that is the discrepancy. It's just a rounding error in the figures that we were given in the first place. The astute amongst you will notice that the growth in these dividends, while being very, very impressive, I mean, that's what this video is all about, is not entirely consistent. Have a look at this. In green, it has been the years in which the dividends have grown. Well, that's impressive. But in red, it's been the dividends have gone down in that particular year. Well, it's only 2. Let's see how much it's gone down by. We start off at 1.5 cents and then up to 4.5, 21.5, right up to 89.3 and a slight dip of 85.6. I will forgive you if the next year you do come back up, and it does indeed. It jumps up to 134.5. Yeah, look, that's nothing to worry about. A tiny, tiny little dip that corrected itself the next year. right up to 214.9 and a slight dip of 211.2. Obviously, there's a problem with dividend stability, a tiny problem, but that should be reflected in the dividend stability numbers. Is it? Well, the dividend stability of that stock is 93%. Well, we can see that, can't we? It's incredibly stable, except for those two little dips over those 2 years. And that is genuinely reflected. So I'm conflicted. On one hand, we have amazing dividend growth, like the best around. On the other hand, we do not have perfect dividend stability. It's not 100%. So should I go for this stock or should I not? Well, you need to research a bit more into exactly how important dividend stability is. I've done a video which covers exactly that. Go ahead and click on it right here.